You're the smartest person in the room. You can break down complex ideas, spot logical flaws in seconds, and hold an entire conversation in your head before it even happens. But somehow, you still feel awkward at parties. You overthink every text message, and people you consider less intelligent than you seem to have no trouble connecting with others. Why? Why do some of the most brilliant minds in history, Newton, Tesla, Einstein, struggle with basic human connection? The answer isn't what you think, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why high intelligence can quietly sabotage your social life, and what you can do about it. The average person walks into a conversation and just talks. They don't analyze every word before it leaves their mouth. They don't rehearse sentences in their head before speaking, and they definitely don't lie awake replaying a conversation from 3 days ago. But smart people do. And if you're watching this, you probably know exactly what that feels like. Psychologists call this metacognition, thinking about your thinking in the right context. It's a superpower, but in real-time social situations, your brain is supposed to be present, reacting, flowing. Instead, yours is running a background program, analyzing, editing, predicting, all while trying to hold a conversation at the same time. Imagine trying to drive a car while simultaneously reading the manual. That's what socializing feels like. For highly intelligent people, social connection thrives on spontaneity. When you're genuinely present, laughing naturally, reacting instinctively, people feel it. That's chemistry. But when you're running every sentence through an internal editor, there's a delay, a hesitation, and people unconsciously pick up on that. It creates distance without either person knowing exactly why. Research from the University of Michigan found that people with higher verbal intelligence often experience more social anxiety, not less, because they can imagine judgment more vividly. They can construct 17 ways a conversation could go wrong before it even starts. The very skill that makes you exceptional at problem solving is the same skill that paralyzes you in a simple conversation. Smart people are often terrible at small talks, not because they can't do it, but because they flat out refuse to. If your mind operates at a high level, solving problems, thinking in systems, then talking about something, such as the weather, feels almost physically painful, fake, pointless. So you either go completely silent, or you try to jump straight to depth, which makes the other person uncomfortable because they're still warming up. Psychologists call this intellectual elitism. You don't mean to judge people, but underneath the surface, your brain is quietly running an evaluation. Are they interesting enough? Can they keep up? And that energy, however unconscious, is felt by everyone around you. Here's the truth you need to hear. Small talk is not pointless. It is the social bridge humans use to signal safety and warmth before going deeper. When you skip it, you skip trust. And without trust, the depth you actually want becomes completely impossible. In trying to avoid shallow conversation, you may end up with no conversation at all. This one might sting, but it's too important to skip. High intelligence, particularly analytical intelligence, is sometimes inversely correlated with emotional intelligence. The pattern is common enough and well documented enough that it deserves an honest look. Here's what happens. When your brain is wired for logic and systems, you develop a blind spot for the emotional undercurrent of a conversation. You hear the words someone is saying, but you miss the feeling behind them. Your friend calls you upset. Their boss humiliated them in front of the whole team. They're hurt. They just need someone to say, "That sounds awful. I'm sorry." But instead you say, "Have you tried talking to HR? Maybe it's time to update your resume." Every single thing you said was logical, practical, possibly even correct. But they didn't call you for a strategy session. They called because they needed to feel less alone. And without meaning to, you made them feel more alone. You give advice, when someone just wants to be heard. You correct details when someone just wants to vent. You solve problems when what they needed was simply presence. Dr. Daniel Goleman argued that EQ, not IQ, is the primary predictor of success in relationships. You can be brilliant and still be emotionally tone deaf. But emotional intelligence is a skill. It can be learned. It can be developed. The only requirement is the willingness to admit that logic alone will never be enough. Smart people communicate in ways that accidentally push people away, and they almost never see it happening. You explain things thoroughly because you hate being misunderstood. You use precise language because vague words frustrate you. You go deep because surface level feels dishonest. In a classroom or boardroom, those are genuine strengths. In casual conversation, they backfire completely. There's a concept called the curse of knowledge. Once you understand something deeply, you permanently lose the ability to remember what it felt like not to know it. You skip steps that seem obvious to you but are completely essential to everyone else. So your conversations become lectures. The other person stops feeling like a participant and starts feeling like an audience member who didn't buy a ticket. They don't pull back because you're wrong. They pull back because they feel talked at instead of talked with. Then there's the correction problem. And this one is a silent relationship killer. Smart people have an almost physical intolerance for inaccuracy. Someone says something factually wrong and you feel immediate pressure to fix it, even casually. Even when it has absolutely no consequence whatsoever. You jump in, you correct, you clarify, and you're right almost always. But nobody likes being corrected, even gently. It creates a subtle power dynamic that makes people feel small. And after it happens enough times, people stop talking freely around you. Not because they dislike you, but because they don't feel safe making mistakes near you. Studies consistently show that highly intelligent people report significantly higher levels of loneliness in adulthood. And the reason is heartbreaking. The smarter you are, the harder it becomes to find people who truly get you. People who can meet you where you actually live mentally. And those people are genuinely hard to find. So many smart people stop trying. They retreat into books, work, screens. Being alone starts feeling like relief. Social interaction starts feeling like a performance. But humans are wired for connection. Even the most independent among us. That need doesn't disappear just because fulfilling it is difficult. Research from Brigham Young University found that chronic loneliness increases the risk of early death by 26%, comparable to obesity and smoking. Loneliness isn't depth. It isn't independence. It's just the path of least resistance, and it comes with a price most people don't realize they're paying until years have already passed. So, what do you actually do with all of this? Because information without application is just entertainment, and you've come too far in this video to walk away without something real to work with. First, learn to appreciate the shallow end. Small talk isn't beneath you. It's the doorway to everything deeper. Instead of resisting it, get genuinely curious about it. Ask people questions, not to evaluate them, but to actually discover them. Most people have something fascinating underneath the surface. You just have to be patient enough to get there. Treat the warm-up as the game, not the waiting room. Second, listen to feel, not just to respond. Next time someone is talking to you, try something difficult. Don't prepare your next sentence while they're speaking. Just listen. Pay attention to their tone, their energy, what they're not saying. Let their emotion land before you respond. This single habit, practiced consistently, will transform how people see you. Third, let some things go uncorrected before you jump in to fix someone's facts. Ask yourself one honest question. Does correcting this serve the relationship, or does it just serve my need to be right? Sometimes, the most intelligent thing you can do in a conversation is stay quiet. Restraint is a form of social intelligence most people never develop. Fourth, find your people intentionally. Stop waiting for deep connection to happen accidentally. It won't. Seek out communities, clubs, events, or spaces centered around the things you genuinely care about. Shared interest is one of the fastest bridges to real human connection. Your people exist. You just have to go where they are. Fifth, be willing to be seen. This is the hardest one. Smart people hide behind their intelligence because it feels safer to impress than to be vulnerable. But real connection, the kind that actually satisfies that deep need, requires letting people see your uncertainty, your mistakes, your struggle, your humanity. That's not weakness. That's the whole point. Now, before you close this video, I want you to do one thing. Right now, not later. Think of one person you've been keeping at arm's length. Someone who actually cares about you but you've never fully let in. Send them a message today. Just, "Hey, I was thinking about you." That's it. That's the first move. Because everything in this video means nothing if it stays in your head. If this hits somewhere real, share it with someone who needs to hear it. You already have someone in mind. Send it to them. Subscribe if you're new here. We cover psychology, self-awareness, and the kind of thinking that actually changes how you see yourself and the world. No fluff, no filler, just content that means something. I'll see you in the next one.